Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahabushai, Bahasham, Barakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahabushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya coming at you with another lesson. And I'm going to start it off in Revelation 13, verse 16, which, to those that are in the know, you already know. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, which in the Strongs is the word charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that charagma is the MARKOFTHEBEAST, which is the micro C-hip implant. And as it said, in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that he that causeth all is the elite rulers of the planet right now, who are of the nation of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Your Rothschilds, your Rockefellers, what have you. But as it said, he will cause all, everyone in society, if they want to be a part of society, to receive that charagma in their body. And with the way society is moving, what do we have? CBDCs, or central bank digital currencies, cashless societies, cashless payments, biometrics, anything you can think of. And, you got these MAGA-tards out here that thought that Trump was going to be their savior. But what did he do? He signed that $500 billion AI, initiative called, I think, Stargate, to build up that AI infrastructure. He's talking about a digital dollar, taking pennies out of circulation and paper checks out of circulation, making everything paperless and digital. And he wants to make the U.S., I think the Bitcoin, the crypto capital of the world. And lest we forget, who's he rubbing shoulders with heavily? His assistant president, Elon Musk, who is ahead of Neuralink, which are BCIs, or brain-computer interfaces, which plays heavily into that charagma in the forehead. And this brings me to this clip from Wyon's YouTube channel titled Musk's Neuralink to Cure Blindness with New Brain C-Hip in 2025. And Apostle Tahar has termed 2025 the hopeful year of the deliverance of the elect and the destruction of Esau, Edom. And hey, things have been ramping up exponentially. And as we'll see in this clip, it's only going to continue to ramp up as we get closer and closer to the fulfillment of Revelation 13, verse 16. And this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes.
And our next story is about Elon Musk. He has said that his company Neuralink will restore blind person's sight with a new brain chip by the end of this year. You heard that right.
And hey, we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. But regardless, that's a bold claim.
Musk says that his company Neuralink has planned on implanting its new brain chip called BlindSight into a human patient for the first time in late 2025. Now, here's why this matters. Neuralink is working quietly on Musk's most advanced technologies, brain chips. The company, in fact, is working on a brain chip that could potentially restore full sight for someone who is completely blind. It has already conducted animal tests, and it has been doing clinical trials since 2024. Musk's announcement will be the first major step towards widespread usage of Neuralink. During an event in Wisconsin, Musk said that animal trials for the new brain chip had been successful. He said that the monkeys with the implant were healthy. According to Musk, the animal trials showed great promise, as a result of which they are hoping to do first device implant for a human this year itself. And if successful, it would be huge. We are talking about giving someone who is completely blind eyes to see the world. According to Musk, it will start off low resolution, but over time, with use, the implant will enable vision that, in his words, is superhuman.
And hey, this is just those miracles of the beast, Esau is going to use to deceive you people, because Esau can't come out and say, look, I want to see hip and everybody so you can be in 15-minute cities, completely locked into the system, eating bugs, having 2 pairs of clothing for the year, and just, being a total digital serf. He's got to sell it to you smoothly, come with those words like butter and oil, as it says in Psalms 55, but war was in his heart. Hey, we can give the blind sight to see again, the deaf, hearing, those that are paraplegic to walk, so that the average, brain dead person out here, especially these Americans, will fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. Go back to Revelation 13. I'm going to start at verse. Let me see where I want to start. Revelation 13 and 13, I'm going to read to 14. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And this is referring, to those atomic bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, which that was the first ever thing seen back in 1945. And that got everybody in line, behind Esau Edom, especially in America. Verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Esau's, scientific and medical miracles out here, making fire to come down from heaven with those atomic bombs, computers, planes, AI, these robots, these amenities in society that make these people look at Esau as a god, as the apex predator. And then, hey, what we just heard with that clip on Wion, BCIs or brain computer interfaces that allow the blind to see again, and deceive them that dwell on the earth by those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword and did live. And that's speaking of, the Roman Empire being reincarnated, beginning with the Renaissance or the rebirth. And that image to the beast, or the financial, political, and military aspects to this reincarnated Roman Empire, this NATO EU system that the U.S. is a part of and at the head of. And, simply looking at the SWIFT and the U.S. dollar, what? These people are following after this Western system. You got the tariffs going on right now, and a lot of people, a lot of different nations shooken up because, they still rely heavily on dollar trade, people wearing business suits and ties, shaving their faces, our women wanting to dye their hair blonde, making them look like Miss Piggy. Or, the fact that if you want to be a pilot, you have to speak English. So you got these people wandering after Esau's system. And, with these medical miracles, that's just going to make them even further wander after it. And, this also plays into the fact that Esau Edom wants to usurp the authority of the Most High and shew himself as the Most High. Which brings us to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Let's start at verse 4. I'll start at verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, which already happened with the nation of Israel, consisting of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans falling away from their identities. But now, in these last days, the last seconds of the last days, Israel is waking back up to their identity, especially the elect. and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, or the son of destruction, who is Esau, Edom. And sin is everything, breaking the laws, statutes, and commandments in the scriptures, which Esau's society is completely predicated upon, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, shewing himself that he is the Most High. With the Renaissance, you had iconoclasm, where he, attempted to destroy the dark images of the Most High and his Son, as well as the Israelites and the saints and the apostles, and shew them as Edomites, or so-called white people. And then what? Him coming with this pseudosciences and technology and medical miracles to deceive the people into making them look at him as a god. And then Esau also pushes what? This atheistic, theory of evolutionary society, to where, he's got a lot of people thinking that this is the only life there is. So if this is the only life there is, and he's in the top position with all this power, then he must be God. Verse 5, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. But now I'm going to jump to verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, the border of wickedness in Malachi 1 verse 4, and the wicked whom the earth has been given into the hands of in Job 9 verse 24, the man of sin, son of perdition, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which he's doing right now with his prophets, chiefly of GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers coming in the spirit of GMS, who are preaching heavily on that mark in Revelation 13, not sugarcoating it, cutting it with anything else, or lying to you Israelites. We're telling you exactly what it is. Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, exposing this devil, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. When Yahushua, the Son of the Most High, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus, makes a second coming to save his elect and destroy Esau's rulership. Verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. And when we get that word, of course it doesn't want to work now. When we get that word working in the Strongs, it's G1753, energia or energia, working, efficiency. In the New Testament, used only of superhuman power, whether of the Most High or of the devil, which all this technology Esau has is just left-handed energy, left-handed spirits from the left hand of the Most High, Satan. Hey, remember when Satan tempted Yahushua in the wilderness, he shewed him a vision of all the kingdoms to come and told him, if you bow down to me, I will give you all these things. Of course, Yahushua didn't, but what? Satan came to these elites and offered them that deal, and they took it. Hence why they're in this position. But don't get it twisted. Satan isn't a fallen angel with his own free will. He is the left hand of the Most High, who works for the Most High, and the Most High is using him to deceive Esau into doing these things to fulfill biblical prophecy. And as it said, hey, when Yahushua comes, he will destroy him with the brightness of his coming. Verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. The rebellious of our people, especially 2/3 of you Israelites, or so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in America, who are going to fall hook, line, and sinker for Esau, Edom, and his, signs and powers and lying wonders, which you already did with what, an easy thing to see is with these elections. A lot of y'all were heavily invested with Kamala or Trump winning, when, the left and the right are two sides of the same coin, two wings on that same hateful eagle. of the elites. Both would have pushed the agenda regardless. Verse 11, and for this cause the Most High shall send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie and be taken by these miracles of the beast system. But back up in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4, where it said, he opposeth himself to shew himself above the Most High, to sit in the seat of the Most High. Yahushua performed miracles in the past, such as allowing, the paraplegic to walk, or even the blind to see. And Esau is trying to replicate that with his left-handed technology, again, to further usurp the authority of the Most High and understand, the scriptures. Which brings me to Mark chapter 8. I'm going to read verses 22 to 25. And he cometh to Bethsaida, speaking of Yahushua, and they bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand, and led him out of town. And when he had spit on his eyes, he put his hands upon him, and he asked him if he saw aught. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. So his vision started coming back, but it wasn't back at 100%. And remember what it said in that Wion clip, initial trials for that Neuralink to allow the blind to see are going to be low resolution. But as they get better and better, he said that, it's going to allow people to have superhuman vision. Verse 25, and after that, he put his hands again upon his eyes and made him look up, and he was restored and saw every man clearly. 20/20 vision. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, to sheweth himself as the Most High, to sit in the seat of the Most High. These scriptures have you Edomites cornered, dead to rights. But let's get back to this clip.
Now, it seems his company is already moving towards trademark must statement, coming in a few days after Neuralink filed for trademarks for the term blindsight. But that's not all. Neuralink has also filed trademarks for the words telepathy and telekinesis. The first Neuralink brain implant was carried out last year itself in January 2024.
Telepathy and telekinesis. Yahushua was able to read the minds of men, especially those wicked Sadducees and Pharisees. Another example of this devil trying to usurp the authority of the Lord.
Patients were given what Neuralink likes to call telepathic control over body parts that they previously had been unable to move due to disabilities. Neuralink is yet to specify a timeline for the rollout of the blindsight chip, but just to be sure, several rounds of testing of the technology will be done before this new technology becomes widely accessible for use. To stay up.
We truly are living in the last seconds of these last days. So now more than ever, to you sincere Akim and Akwath, it's time to be locked in, because this devil's about to come down in great wrath in Revelation 12 verse 12, and we have to be standing on big faith, to make it through this hour of temptation, which is quickly coming our way. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.